Hi and welcome to Fit Panda Online. Today we're going to do a Flexi Panda class. My name is Genevieve and my pandas behind me are Sue and Bernie. Okay, so we're going to start on our mats with our feet just wider than hip distance apart. We're just going to start with some nice deep breaths. So taking your arms up, nice deep inhale and softly bringing them down on the exhale for 1. And again, deep inhale. And down on the exhale. We're going to go for a little soft bend in the knees for the next one. So inhale, soft bend, exhale. Inhale, soft bend, exhale. Beautiful. Coming up to stand, we're going to do a roll down. So chin to chest, rolling all the way down. Soft bend in those knees. And to come up, we're going to arch up, so leading with the head. Arching up, keeping a soft bend in those knees, coming up to stand. And rolling down, chin to chest. Arching up, soft bend in the knees, remembering to breathe. We're going to reverse it. We're going to arch down, soft bend in the knees. And rolling up, stacking that vertebra as we come up to stand. One more time, arching down. And rolling up. Let's swivel those feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart. We're going to have our feet facing the outside corners of the mat. And we're going to slowly sink down. Try and make sure that your knees are stacked above your ankles, sinking as deeply as you can. So only go to your max. Try and think about tilting that tailbone under. And we're just going to hold here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Swiveling those heels back as we straighten the knees. We're going to bring our hands down to the mat. And we're just going to shift those hips gently side to side. If you can't touch the mat with your hands in this position, you are welcome to use your blocks under your hands, just to make it easier to keep those legs straight. Coming back to center with the hips, we're now going to lunge side to side. So just gently bending your right knee and then over to the left knee. And let's go for 8. And the other side. And 7. Remembering to breathe. 6. And 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. We're going to sink all the way over to the right-hand side. You want to really focus on keeping the right heel down. So that means you have to come higher up. That's absolutely fine. You're going to sink down to your max. Try and get your left knee to face the ceiling, pointing your left foot, hands on the inside of your right leg. Now I want you to think about squeezing that right glute to pull that knee away from your elbow. And we're holding for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Taking your right hand over your right knee. You're going to rotate around to face that knee. Make sure that your knee is stacked above your ankle. Your hands are either side of that foot. And we're going to rock forward and back very gently for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We're going to gently place the back knee down, untuck those back toes, and we're going to rock again. This time we're going to extend the right leg, so we're pushing back. Try to flex those toes on the right foot, and then we're going to push forward, squeezing that left glute as we push forward. Let's go for 8, and 7, and 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and on the last one, staying back. Try and make sure that your left hip is stacked above your left knee. We're going to still have our hands either side of that front foot, and then we want to think about extending that spine, looking forward, pushing your chest towards your toes, flexing that right foot, and we're going to hold for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, one. Good job. You're gonna place that right foot on the floor, tuck your back toes on the left foot, and we're gonna try and extend through those legs so that we can come into your triangle pose. Now, if you're really struggling to touch the floor here, you might wanna put some blocks under your hands, just so that you can reach the floor and keep your legs straight. Sue's gonna demonstrate for us, so that you guys can see what I mean. Beautiful, Bernie as well, great. So now from here, we're gonna rock from toe to heel, keeping those legs straight and that chest pushing forward. So rocking up onto the toes of your back foot and then onto the heel of your front foot for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Placing both feet flat. We're going to try and extend through that spine even more, so we really want to think about pushing that chest down and forward towards your toes. So you're going to take your navel to your spine, really making sure that your tummy is nice and engaged. And we're holding for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You shouldn't need your blocks for the next one. We're going to walk those hands slightly forward, bending the front leg, tucking the back leg in. And we're going to go for some kicks. So we're going to push through the basing leg, extending the back leg up to this and back down for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keeping that back leg up, we're going to pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stepping that back leg down, rotating through the middle, and we're sinking down to do the other side. So remember, we want to try and keep that heel on the mat. If that means we have to come up higher, that's okay. Hands to the inside of your knees. Right knee facing the ceiling, right foot pointing and squeezing the left leg away from you with your glute to keep that knee off the arm for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we're turning to face that leg. So left hand goes over, hands either side of your knee. Good job. Okay, and we're gonna rock forward and back for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Gently popping that knee down and tucking those back toes. And we're going to rock again. Extending back, front foot flexed, pushing forward, squeezing that back glute. For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Pushing back, stacking that hip above the knee, extending that front leg, toes flexed, chest forward, nice straight spine for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to rock onto that front foot, tuck the back toes, pushing up so that you're in a nice triangle. Again, if you need to use your blocks here, you are welcome to. Hands are on the mat and your legs are extended. And we're going to go heel to toe for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Both feet flat, extending that spine, chest to toes, and sucking that tummy in. And we're holding for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Walking those hands forward, tucking that back leg in for our kicks. And we're going to extend through for 1, 2, 3. Really squeeze that glute. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Holding up, squeezing for pulses. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bringing that leg down. We'll walk ourselves back a little bit just for our downwards dog position. And we're going to pedal out those heels. So just lifting up one heel at a time for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rounding over those toes and dropping the knees down to the mat. We can step back into our, you guys call this a 4-point position, hey? I'm used to calling it a tabletop, but yeah, lots of different names for things. So we want our shoulders stacked above our wrists, our knees, and our hips. We're going to extend that right leg back, and we're just going to pulse that leg up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Squeeze it up and bring it in. Left leg extends, and we're going for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Squeeze it up and bring it back in. And you can just come around to sit on your mats. And we're going to have our feet wider than hip width apart. You want your knees bent a little bit smaller than a 45-degree angle, and toes facing out. We're going to hold our ankles, and we want to think about making our chest nice and tall, pushing your sit bones into the mat. And we're going to breathe for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Taking those hands behind you. We're just going to drop our knees down towards the right for 1, then over to the left, and 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now we're just going to pop over towards the right. We want to have those legs at a 90-degree angle, so you want to have a nice square shape. You really want to try and think about not leaning over to the right bum cheek too much. Try and get that chest centered as much as possible. I'm going to place both hands onto that right leg, and we're just going to lean forward. You should feel a nice stretch into that abductor on the outside of the boot. And we're going to hold for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Sitting up. I'm going to do a little twist. So opposite hand comes to knee. And you can take the other hand down to the mat if you can. Head nice and tall. And holding for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming around. I'm going to take both hands behind you. I'm going to rock on over, all the way over to the other side. So same thing, you want to have a nice 90-degree angle in those legs and leaning that chest forward. And we're going to breathe for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we're going to twist, so opposite hand to knee, turning to face the back of the room. Other hand comes to the mat for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming around back to center. And we're going to come to sit with our feet together, knees apart. You want about a foot's distance between your heels and your pelvis. And, and we're going to, again, try and push that chest forward. So we want to think about taking our chest past our toes and then down. And we're going to hold and breathe for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming back up. You can extend one leg out to the side of the mat. Again, keeping that distance between your heel and your pelvis. And we're going to rotate. So you can keep one hand on that foot if you want to, or the other hand, or it can come just to the side of the mat. You'll figure out what feels comfortable for you. And then you want to think about rolling the other knee towards the front of the room as much as you can. If you need to push up a bit, that's also okay. And we're trying to take our left hip to tap down on our right heel. So we're rotating through to tap and rotating back for 1 and 2. Keep that chest nice and tall. And 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We're going to roll all the way through. If you need to adjust a little bit, you can. Keeping that chest nice, tall, breathing for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rotating back. And we're going to switch those legs. Remember your foot's about a foot's distance between. And we're going to rotate through. So tapping that hip down for 1 and back. And 2 and 3, 4, 5. Remember to breathe. 6, 7, and 8. Rotating all the way through to make sure that you've got contact between that hip and that heel, ideally. And you're going to keep that chest nice and tall and breathe for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Coming around, back to center, and we're going to extend through. So we want to be in a straddle position. So this is not a middle split. We're going to have our legs in line with outside top corners of our mats. And we're just going to slide from side to side. So running the right hand down the right leg, trying to touch those toes, and coming up, and then the other side. Good. And let's go for another 8. And 7. Nice and gentle on the body. And 6. And 5. And 4. And 3. And 2. And 1. Beautiful. So now we're going to try and tuck our right arm through towards the mat. We're trying to focus on almost getting your right shoulder onto the floor. Obviously that will take some time, but that's kind of the goal. So we're going to tuck that arm through. Try and think about taking your right shoulder to the inside of your knee. Keep your chest open as if you want to look up at the ceiling. Then extend the left arm over. So even if you're higher up, just try and keep that chest open. Don't collapse down to the floor. My pandas are doing it perfectly. And we're holding for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Rotating towards that leg. I'm going to take a hand either side of the leg. Push your chest forward. And we want to think about taking our chest over our knees. And we're going to push down for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly rounding up. And we're going to come on over to the other side. So we're tucking that arm through. So tucking through, aiming that shoulder for the floor, reaching up and over, keeping that chest nice and open for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rotating round, hands either side of that leg, and we're pushing that chest forward and over your knee for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And rounding up to come back to center. We can slowly bring those legs back together, and we're just going to roll to the back of the mat so that we can come onto our knees. So we're going to move into what I consider the prep for your front splits. So this is really good if you really want to get your flat splits, but it's good for a stretch for your hip flexors and your hamstrings anyway. So we're going to take up our left leg in front of us. You want to have your hips stacked above your back knee. We're going to think about tilting that tailbone under and squeezing. So you want to tilt under and squeeze. I'm going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. And squeezing under again for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. We're going to shimmy that front foot forward. We're going to push those hips forward and down, but you really want to focus on squeezing that glute to do it, so we're not just sinking into the hips. I'm going to keep that chest nice and tall. We're going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's good. It means you're using it. And we're going to push back and switch sides. So remember, we want those hips stacked above the back knee, and we're tilting that tailbone under, and we're squeezing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release it. One more time, squeezing under for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing. Shifting that front foot forward, sinking those hips down with a nice squeeze into that back glute, and we're holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful, pushing back, and we can tuck those under. So this is the part we are going to need our blocks for. So you want to take your blocks so that when you're in a lunge, they are as in line with your hips as you can. So this will be a little bit flexibility dependent in terms of where you'll be able to hold them. So we're going to shimmy that front foot forward until we can get those blocks down, and we've got a nice push through. Beautiful. Keeping that chest up, we're just going to slowly walk that front foot forward. Just go to wherever you feel comfortable. Both legs will be bent, and you're going to sink to your max. If you need to pop those blocks down, you can do so. So trying to keep that front foot on the floor if you can. And we're holding, yeah, it changes how low you could go. Okay, little spasm in there. And we're sinking and holding. Remember to try and squeeze that back glute still for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're extending that front leg. See if you can slide a little further for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to slowly pull up. So use those blocks. Push through your legs. Slide on back. And we're going to swap our legs. So remember, we wanted our blocks to be as in line with our hips as possible for a nice deep lunge. Wiggle that front foot forward till you feel like you are at your maximum point. Squeezing that back glute. So you'll see that I'm not even on both sides. That's very normal. With splits, you'll definitely have one side that's better than the other, but we want to try and train them so that they're even. Breathing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're extending that front leg. See if you can slide a bit deeper. And we're staying. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Using those blocks, push through and squeeze those legs together and bring them back. And give those hips a little wiggle. Good job. Okay, so we're at the back of our mats. We're going to walk those hands forward so that we're in our tabletop 4-point position. I'm going to tuck those toes, pushing up so that our heels can come to the mat if possible. I'm going to try and stretch out those hamstrings a little bit more. Just taking this opportunity to breathe. Nice deep breaths. Try and lift that tailbone up towards the ceiling. And we're going to slowly walk those feet up towards our hands. If you need to bend them as you bring them in, that's absolutely fine. And we're going to sink our tummy and chest onto our thighs with our knees slightly bent. Take a couple of nice deep breaths here. Now we're going to straighten one leg at a time, just rocking side to side. Hopefully I'm not knocking my mic with my knee. And we're going to come back to center, tucking that tailbone as we slowly stack the vertebra, coming up to stand. Head comes up last. Take a nice deep breath. Arms up to the ceiling. And we're done. Good job. Well done, everyone.